Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about how the Guardian Takedown is one of the most innovative things, not only in the looter shooter franchise, but definitely the Borderlands franchise. And I even mean the original Guardian Takedown with bullet sponge enemies, not the weakened nerd version we have right now. And you guys are obviously going to call me crazy for this opinion because many players disliked it originally. A lot of you guys still dislike it now. And that's because, in my opinion, it was just implemented poorly. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Alrighty, let's go ahead and talk about the Guardian Takedown. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because I got to thinking about endgame in not only Borderlands, but a lot of looter shooters in general. And the Guardian Takedown is very unique, obviously, for some of the mechanics, but also insanely good for the endgame of not only Borderlands, but a lot of looter shooters in general. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly why. And I have a specific YouTube video open right here that I posted a long time ago when the Guardian Takedown first came out. It was called Distract Guardians on Any Vault Hunters Using Pets. Borderlands 3, except Amara has no pets. She has ties that bind, so don't complain. Anyways, the point of this video was to show you guys, back in the day, with the bullet sponge Guardian Takedown enemies, it was impossible to mow them down for most people, but when using alternate strategies, defensive strategies like aggro control, and just other defensive strategies, like the actual best way to beat the Guardian Takedown is to not fight a single Guardian. It's to just distract them, keep them off of the crystal areas, and then charge those things up. And let me tell you guys exactly why this is so unique and innovative. Now, most looter shooters are known, like their end game is known as a DPS race. And what I mean by that is doing the most amount of damage in the least amount of time possible. If you look at a lot of looter shooter endgame, a lot of them involve trials, and they're always trying to get you to beat a certain time. Even the proving grounds in this game, if you do it in 5 minutes, you get the highest reward. 10 minutes is the second highest reward. 15 minutes is the third highest reward. I think even in Outriders right now, which is the newest looter shooter out, the newest hot looter shooter, they have trials at the end, which they encourage you to do it as fast as possible. And what does that encourage players to do? It's just a huge DPS race, big boom, one-shot build, kill everything, nuke the whole playing field as quick as you can. And that is the opposite of what Guardian Takedown wants you to do. This is an endgame built around aggro control, built around survivability, built around surviving non-stop waves of enemies. If you don't charge your crystal phases up, the Guardians do not stop spawning until those crystal phases start charging up. It's kind of almost like a zombies game mode. And I actually think not only is that innovative for looter shooters, but the main reason why is because it encourages build diversity. And build diversity is not something we generally see in a lot of looter shooters. Because what do we do in looter shooters? We get the strongest weapon, the strongest build, and we fucking blow everything to smithereens and one-tap everything. And guess what? When the Guardian Takedown first came out, that was not freaking possible on most characters, except for Amara, who has ties that bind. But for the rest of us, we had to slog through the mud, use our pets to distract the Guardians. And like I said, in this video, I showed off on every character using our pets to distract the Guardians. And, just to further my point a little bit, every single character has a defensive skill tree. Zane, Mose, Amara, and Flak all have defensive skill trees. Now, Flax didn't come till much later. I guess his blue tree, which was his Gamma Burst tree, is his true defensive skill tree. But, or in the base game at least. And, I'm not going to act like DPS isn't the reason why we don't use these skill trees. I still won't use Zane's green tree anyway. And that's a different issue. That's because a lot of defensive skill trees, the skills in them end up being very redundant. In Borderlands, all you need to survive is lifesteal. So a lot of these damage reduction skills are very redundant to just the one lifesteal skill. It's not the only reason we don't use these skill trees, but it's kind of a big one in my opinion. When you are encouraged to do the most amount of damage in the least amount of time possible, literally what the Proving Grounds encourage you to do, they want you to finish them as quick as possible for the highest reward, right? You're not going to use alternate defensive builds to get the best rewards. But something like the Guardian Takedown encourages you to do so. And that's the main reason why I think the Guardian Takedown is super innovative and why I want to see more of it, not only in the Borderlands franchise, but lots of other endgame for just looter shooters in general, or any game really. You know, I like when a game encourages us to think outside the box. And that's why I loved the Guardian Takedown when it first came out. It was a lot of fun. Now, while we're on this topic, let's talk about a couple reasons why the Guardian Takedown was implemented poorly. The first reason I'm going to bring up is actually you guys. Yes, you Borderlands player did not want to think outside the box. You guys don't want to use defensive builds. And I can't necessarily blame you. Borderlands especially conditions us to, like I said, blow everything the fuck up. We fucking love one-shotting the shit out of bosses. Okay, it is what it is. You know, I'm also to blame. I post a bunch of one-shot builds and stuff like that too. So it's us. You know, we're not necessarily ready. Like, our mindset is not where the Guardian Takedown... Yeah. Anyways, next point. The pacing of the Guardian Takedown is unfortunately very slow. Now, like I just said, that's not a bad thing because of the crystal sections, but being forced to fight the animals in between each crystal section is very slow. It kind of just dulls your progression. And another thing about it is, like, when I go to the Guardian Takedown, I want to fight Guardians. Like, I know some of you probably like fighting the Necrotafeo animals. Whenever I've brought this point up before, actually a decent amount of people say they like fighting the Necrotafeo animals, but I think they should be available to skip, kind of like the Ratch in the Malawan Takedown. Like, imagine if you had to go do the Malawan Takedown and you had to clear out all the Ratch before you entered. It would be like, I'm ready to go. Wait, I gotta stop and sit at these Ratch before we go. And I kind of think the same issue in the Guardian Takedown. I really wish we could just skip through the animals. The third reason I'm going to bring up is the parkour completely ruining our progress. In single player, I think one slip and fall should not make you have to start over not only the animals, your crystal sections, and then get to the, do that parkour section again. So not only does missing one jump make you reset your crystals, but you have to fight those animals again. So, yeah. Anyways, and then let's talk about multiplayer. If your teammate literally hitches off the map, because Borderlands uses local servers, they don't have multiplayer servers, so there's literally lag in multiplayer. I just think it was not necessarily a good fit for this game. And then especially because the pacing is so slow, then you just have to spectate your teammates for like 25 to 30 minutes for them to finish their section of the Guardian Takedown. And yeah, the final reason I think it was implemented poorly originally was because of the lack of endgame rewards. Yes, the Stinger Shield is freaking amazing. You can get it from Anathema, and that's about it. The rest of the loot in the Guardian Takedown, a lot of people don't really like. The Smog is pretty cool. The Globetrotter's pretty cool. The Web Slinger doesn't do much at all. And, I feel like it kind of left a bit of a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths because they wanted to go in there and get some really cool game-breaking loot, especially when some of the strongest guns in the game are locked behind literally arms race, which you can do at level 13 and then carry yourself to the Guardian Takedown with those same... Okay, maybe you'll have to get an upgraded level version. But, it just kind of doesn't make sense where the loot is in Borderlands 3. At this current state of time, the best guns in the game are not locked behind the hardest difficulty content. I think that's a little bit weird too. And then, there's just kind of lackluster guns locked behind it. And yeah, so that's pretty much why I think the Guardian Takedown is super innovative. I want to see it more often. Now, I'm not saying I want every raid or takedown to be like that, but if every single game could get an activity like the Guardian Takedown that focuses on survivability, that focuses on build diversity, I think that is very positive and healthy for video games. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next time.